Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Banter with Brooke, my podcast. I am your host, Brooke Podcast, and today's episode is all about true crime, as you can see from the title. Why the hell am I out of breath? I don't know, actually, but I got my coffee today because, and I got extra caffeine because I got a cold brew today instead. Don't tell me why, but I was just feeling it. I mean, don't ask me why, not don't tell me why. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm really excited for this episode. I need to stop fucking saying that because I actually say that every single one. But I am. I just love filming these for you guys. I am excited about every single one. So, I used to watch true crime documentaries all of the time. Like, I absolutely was obsessed with them. Like, I literally would watch them constantly. I would watch like serial killer documentaries, just random creepy movies, creepy shows. They just really draw you in. Like, I used to watch them so much. So I compiled a list of ones that I've watched, shows, movies, documentaries that I've watched that have to do with crime, true crime stuff. And bear with me because a lot of these I haven't seen in a really long time, so I don't remember every single detail. And also spoilers as well. If I like when I say the title and you haven't seen it, then I'm sorry. There is going to be spoilers. I'm going to be explaining everything that happens in each of them. But you know what? You can just stay here and watch my podcast and I'll explain it to you. You don't even have to watch it. But like I said, I used to watch them all the time and I did kind of stop and kind of like cut back because they were really not doing good for my mental state. I feel like they just made me really depressed and sad because most documentaries are obviously based off of real events. And I would just get really upset and sad that real people had to go through that. So my first one I have on the list is a perfect example of one that made me horribly, horribly sad. I actually was crying for like days after. It's called American Murder, The Family Next Door. And literally, you guys, it is the most like horrible fucked up thing I've ever watched. So this guy, the main guy, his name is Chris Watts, and he was married to Shanann. I believe that's if I remember her name right. And they had two daughters. I forgot their names. And she was pregnant with their third kid, which was their son. And the daughters were 7 years old and 4 years old. And basically the documentary, it's like a movie, but it's a documentary because it's based off something real. And so one day her friend, Shanann's friend, hadn't heard from her in a while. So she was concerned and called the police. And they show up to the house and they're missing. That's what they're saying. Chris Watts, the husband, he's like, it literally shows him like talking to the camera, being like, wherever you are, like, I miss you guys, like, please come home, whatever. And so they're going through the house, like Shanann's phone's still there, her purse, everything. And the friend is like, this is so weird. And then the neighbor, apparently one of the neighbors has like a ring like camera footage, and so they go to the neighbors and they're like playing the footage and Chris is there like talking to them too, whatever. And Chris walks away for whatever reason, and the neighbor tells the cops like, this guy's not acting right, like he's definitely acting weird. Like, so Chris was not acting normal, right? So then you just learn along the documentary, like, I genuinely, you guys, at first did not think Chris had anything to do with it. Like in the beginning when he's like, I miss you guys, like, please come home wherever you are. Like, I had no idea. But then you learn that he meets this other girl and starts talking to her, I guess, and it shows like text messages from Shanann and the friend, and she's like, I don't know what's going on, like he won't even touch me, like he's not having sex with me anymore, like he was being like really weird. And she's like, I don't know what's going on, like she was sad for their relationship, right? So then that's like the majority of the documentary. There's just like leading up to what happened, right? They take him into questioning and he's obviously saying he didn't do it, right? And they're like, okay, then first of all, like detectives, like investigating people, like are so damn good at their job, like just interrogating them so much until they like end up confessing and telling the truth. Like that's such a like crazy thing. But basically the girl's like, okay, then we're going to put you on a lie detector test and obviously like we'll find out the truth. He obviously doesn't pass the lie detector test. And so they have to, she tells him that she's like, okay, well, you obviously did not pass. So you're going to need to tell us what the hell happened. And he was like, nah, he was like, you could tell he was starting to like get nervous and panic. And then his dad, Chris's dad, comes in the room and he first says that he admits to hurting Shanann, which I don't know why he's dumb enough. Like there's obviously cameras in those rooms. Like they're gonna listen and see what you're doing. But he says that he like hurt her. And the dad's like, what the hell? Like, okay. And he says he like strangled her or something. I don't remember. Or like choked her or something. So then whatever. They get him to confess to that. And I'm trying to remember the more like details, but so what ended up happening is literally he choked the Shanann to death. He literally killed her, put her in the back of the truck. The daughters were literally saying, is mommy okay? Like what's going on? Went and took her somewhere, buried her, and literally, I don't know how he got there. What the hell? Like those oil things, like they kind of look like silos, like the things that are like on farms. I don't know, something with like oil. And he choked both of them and threw their bodies in there. How, like, you guys don't understand how horrible. And it literally was saying like like her last words were like, daddy, like no, or like what are you doing, like that, like I'm not even kidding, I cried for like probably almost a week after I watched that one. Like how do you do that to your 4 and 7-year-old daughter? And the craziest thing about that one too, you guys, they were married for like 10 years. They had a whole family together. And literally it never even said like why. I think the reason he ended up doing it was because of he met that other girl and he wanted to be with her. Are you fucking insane? I mean, clearly, I hope he's literally, I hope the other inmates at wherever he is are putting him through hell. Like, I literally hope he's getting beat up, all of that in prison, because are you so actually sick in the head? Like, imagine, that's what scares me too. Like, imagine you're just like with someone for 10 years. Like, you would never expect that. And then like, oh, so terrifying and sad. Like, and why don't you just be a normal person and maybe, I don't know, ask for a divorce? You really thought the only like plausible option to end up being with this other girl was to just kill them all? Wow, how dumb can you be? Because now look what now you have to spend the rest of your life in jail. Dumb idiot. And he was only crying like because he was mad he got caught. You could tell he did not feel bad at all. Like, that is the most messed up documentary. Well, the next one I have on this list is a very, very close second, if not more messed up. But this one just hit me so hard because it was about kids. Like, how could you do that to a 7-year-old and 4-year-old kid? Like, and your wife was pregnant. So horrible. I highly recommend. I kind of left out the middle chunk because I don't really remember. It was basically just like explaining everything. But I recommend watching that if you really need something that will like. But it is so messed up and horrible. And Chris Watts, I hope you are literally rotting and so miserable. Next one is called The Night Stalker. And this one, you guys, oh, so disgusting. The killer, his name is Richard Ramirez. And if you look up a freaking picture of him, look up Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, whatever. He is the creepiest looking person you've ever seen. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was in Los Angeles, California. And I remember a specific quote from this documentary. It literally said, the only thing similar about his crimes is the non-similarities. Like, I'm going to talk about these more in depth later on, but like how Jeffrey Dahmer killed like mostly like black gay men, and then like Ted Bundy went after like women. Like, this Night Stalker literally went after men, women, children, like, and the way he was killing them too was like all different types of ways. Like, he was just literally killing everything. And like, this documentary is insane, you guys. Like, it literally like would say it was in the 1990s, I believe, maybe 80s. I don't quote me on that. And like, it literally would say like he would go in somebody's house, kill someone, then he would like 30 minutes later, like couple miles away, they'd get another call because he just did it to somebody else. Like, and they could not catch him for some reason, which is actually insane. Like, how do you not? Especially because he would leave his DNA. Literally, it said, this is how sick and twisted of a man he was. He would literally like go after he would kill them, or maybe, yeah, after he'd kill them, he would like go and then eat all like their stuff in their house and then throw up, like projectile throw up all over their house and then jerk off. He would literally like throw up and like ejaculate onto all their stuff after he killed them. Like ew, that is like the most terrifying thing I've ever heard, actually. Like, I'm trying to express like this is the biggest deal ever. Like, that is so horrible. But I saw this so long ago. Like, I promise you guys, when I first watched it, like my first reaction was like the proper like horrified, disgusting, like, and it still horrifies me, but like I saw this like months and months and months ago. But I feel like I don't want you guys to think like, how am I just talking about the like this so lightly? I'm really not. Like, this shit is stuck in my brain. Like, I'm never forgetting this. And like, one lady he killed with like an axe. This is really, really disturbing. So trigger warning, but he was assaulting this girl. And while he's, you know what I mean by assaulting, he was like, don't look at me. And she was like, I swear to God, like, I'm not looking at you. And he goes, don't swear to God, swear to Satan. Like, he was literally like, I don't know, like so creepy. And like, even children, he would do stuff too. Like, this one girl was like in the documentary was talking about her personal story. Like, he like was assaulting her, but then he like ended up letting her go. He didn't end up killing her. I don't know, like, just like the biggest creep. And like, he was just going around and assaulting, killing everyone. And finally, someone like got a picture of him, something, and they like posted it, and then one person saw him and was like holding him, and then like everyone started surrounding him. They like cornered him and they went to jail. The creepiest thing was, you guys, like, he was holding up like he had some like devil like symbol tattooed on his hand that he's like holding up in court. And like all these girls would like send him stuff in prison, like thought he was so hot, like wanted him, like ew, so sad and scary. Like I don't know. And the one thing they said too about him, he was disgusting. Like he smelled like shit. He was dirty. He had horrible, disgusting teeth. That's what everyone said. Like his teeth were like horrible, and he smelled. And I'm forgetting like, but like the shit he would say to like these people and like the way he would kill them, like actually might be the most terrifying man ever, probably. And I believe he passed away maybe from some type of cancer or something in jail. I think that's what I remember. But I'm so happy that they finally caught him. And I really am missing out on a lot of the details of the crimes. I just remember that specific one where the girl said like, I'm not looking at you. And I remember he like killed this woman with an axe, I remember. And he was just like breaking into people's houses, like going through the window and just like going like, oh, look him up, watch that one. That one's insane. Next thing I watched is a TV show, and the episodes were like, I think there was maybe 2 seasons, maybe like 30 episodes in the first season, maybe a little less in the second. The show's called I Survived a Crime, and it's people who survived, and it's like the episodes are maybe like 20 something minutes, and it is insane. Like these things that people have gone through and survived, and it's like the real people who survived each crime explaining what happened. And there's like footage in like the stories, like there's security camera footage or like home camera footage, like, and it's these people explaining what the hell happened to them and that they survived. And some of these were so insane. Like this one person like broke into this like office building, and this lady was like sitting there just like typing on her computer working, and this guy literally just came in and started stabbing her like repeatedly in the stomach, like, and it was obviously it didn't show like blood, but it was showing like the motion of him like on top of her like stabbing her. And it was like, what in the, like, so insane. This one, oh my god, this one makes me the most angry ever. This guy was at a bar, and he was black, and it's important for the context of the story. And his cousin was there, who is a girl, and she's also black. And these 2 white guys are in the bar, and they were calling his cousin like the racial slur. And so he's obviously sticking up for his cousin, and they got into like a little fight, but they didn't really like not physical, but they started arguing, and then the 2 white guys eventually leave. And so then I think maybe, if I'm remembering right, like hour or so later, oh no, the black guy was there with his friend too, and his friend was also black. So he went there with his friend. His cousin was already there. They were calling his cousin a racial slur. They left, and then the 2 black guys end up leaving. And these 2 white guys, as they're leaving, pull up with the truck, jump out, and start beating the shit out of them, like horrible. Like came up from behind, like without them seeing. And the black guy, he was one telling the story, like he literally has permanent brain damage from them. And as they were driving away, they literally yelled white power out of the car window, and drove away. That is the most like horrible, mind-blowing thing. Like, how horrible and disgusting of a human being can you be? And the guy, I like, all because he was sticking up for, you're the one who literally is in the wrong. You guys are the most horrible people alive. And then he calls you out on being horrible, and you give him like permanent brain damage. Like that one, I actually like started crying because I'm like, oh, and he had his wife and like he has kids now, and like, oh my God, it was the most horrifying. Like that was so upsetting. A lot of the other ones too were home break-ins. Like these people broke into the house and were like shooting and stuff. Like it is a crazy, crazy show, but they're all good because all the people survived, except for that one guy having brain damage. That's obviously not a good ending, but and it's really interesting too because like I said, there's footage and stuff, but I highly recommend that show. And the episodes are short, like 20, 30 minutes each, and it's like addicting. You want to keep watching. A lot of like store break-ins, a lot of like, I think there was one like a drive-by like shooting. It was insane. All of these, the first three, I believe, the American Murder, Family Next Door, The Night Stalker, and I Survived a Crime, were all on Netflix, I believe. But I watched them probably over a year ago, so I'm not sure if they're still on Netflix or not. The next one I want to talk about is the Ted Bundy one. I watched the one with Zac Efron playing him, and oh, so scary. Like I remember like his like he would have like bite marks like in his victims, and like, oh, he's gross, and he like escaped the courtroom or something. I remember he like opened the window and like left, and the one girl that like loved him still, I don't know, you guys should watch that one. It's really, really good. I think there's like an actual Ted Bundy documentary too, that's not the one that Zac Efron plays him, but let me give you context actually. So Ted Bundy was a serial killer. I should have been more prepared and done some research, but I don't know the time frame. Maybe like the 19 something, maybe like the 60s. I have no idea. I could be making that year completely up, but he was very like conventionally attractive, and he would lure women in, and then he would kill them. I think he would honestly, I'm going to say grape them first, or after he killed them, or both. I have no idea. But very, very sick man. He would like hide their bodies different places. He was horrible. And I don't know. This documentary did a very good job of showing what he did. And I don't know how like people get away with crime. Like literally, like there was a scene he got pulled over by a cop, but he just like, or there was a scene like he like was running away from the cops, got like away a little bit, changed clothes or something, was walking down the street, and the cop cars were like driving right by him. Like I don't understand how people get away with that. Still to this day, people get away with stuff. It's like, how? I mean, I'm glad now that most public places have cameras now. Like I don't even like a lot of places have cameras, which is great. But yeah, really, really scary. Ted Bundy is horrible. I'm sure everybody knows who Ted Bundy is, but that documentary with Zac Efron was really good, and it really opened my eyes. 'Cause I'd always would hear about Ted Bundy, like stuff that he would do, but I never like knew the whole context of it. But yeah, really, really scary. Next one I have is Jeffrey Dahmer. And Jeffrey Dahmer, oh, like, so if you guys haven't watched that documentary where Evan Peters plays him, oh, and there's one where Ross Lynch plays him. I don't know which one I watched. I think I watched where Evan Peters. I actually don't know if I even ever finished it, but also Jeffrey Dahmer was around me. so I told you guys I live like an hour away around from like Chicago. Jeffrey Dahmer was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I also live like an hour away from there. So Jeffrey Dahmer was like close, which is so scary. And he, like I mentioned earlier, was a serial killer slash cannibal, and he would kill particularly black gay men. And similar to Ted Bundy, he would flirt with them, lure them in. He would usually go to bars late at night, talk to these guys, you know, they'd start like kissing and stuff, and he'd be like, you want to go back to my place? Then they would, and he would like make them a drink, blah blah blah, and usually would like drug the drink, and he would kill them and eat them and dismember them. Like the weirdest. And dude, I have like really bad like empathy like problems. And okay, no, empathy is a very normal and good thing to have, but like I like feel bad for people that like don't deserve it, because in the documentary it shows Jeffrey Dahmer's home life, and he like obviously did not have a good home life, but there's so many people that don't have good childhoods that don't turn out to be serial killers. Like it's not an excuse. Like sometimes I feel bad because I'm like, oh well, he has so much trauma like that made him act like that, which I'm not excusing his behavior. Like he still deserves everything bad ever, like, but I still am like, oh, like what made him. And the weirdest thing is, so he like started with animals. Like as a kid he would like kill animals and stuff, which that's why I don't like how people enjoy hunting, or like weird, you might be a little mentally cuckoo. Same with people who like kids who like mess with animals to be funny, like throw like, I feel like I know people who would like, not like people that I'm friends with, like I feel like I would hear stories of people like throwing frogs or like shit like that. Like what enjoyment do you have from that? Like that is not funny at all. That's actually the most sick thing ever. But so yeah, Jeffrey Dahmer started with like animals when he was younger, which his dad like showed him how to like, I don't remember exact details of this documentary, but Jeffrey Dahmer would not only kill these people, he would eat them. And the neighbor, the documentary I watched, he lived in an apartment, and his neighbor would like complain about like weird smells, and because you could smell like the flesh, obviously there's like blood, like, and literally, oh, I would hate to be the neighbor. There was like a kid outside, and Jeffrey Dahmer was like, oh, the kid's just drunk. And the neighbor is talking to the police like, no, like this kid like needs help. And it was one of his Jeffrey Dahmer's victims, but I forgot how many people he killed. I want to say 20 something, maybe 30 something. And yeah, just a horrible person. So, sorry, I just spaced out for a second. But Jeffrey Dahmer, if you guys also don't know him, you're living under a rock. He's disgusting. Next one I have is John Wayne Gacy, which he is a weird guy as well. He targeted little boys, like kids. And he would also, I believe, lure them in through sexual kind of, and he was a clown. His job was a clown at children's birthday parties. How creepy is that? And he would kill them and bury them all around. And so strange. Like, I think he was like burying them like under somebody's house or something. I don't remember. I need to like not speak on things I have no idea about. All I know is he was a clown and he would kill little boys. Like, I literally cannot believe that some people think that way. I actually don't understand how that happens at all. Like, I've never even had a thought similar to wanting to hurt somebody or wanting to like kill somebody. Like, oh, let alone these that are fucking terrible. Like the Night Stalker just like going everywhere and killing people. Like, I don't get it. And these like, oh, I'm like literally speechless because I don't even know what to say because of how dumbfounded I am that people like this actually existed. And controversial opinion or like question that I don't even know my opinion on it really. Let me know what you guys think, because a lot of people say them like people making like documentaries about this kind of stuff is giving people ideas on how to do it, which I don't really know how I feel about that, because I don't know. I feel like it could go 50-50, because yes, it's giving the creepy people in the world maybe ideas, but it also is spreading awareness to everyone else, showing you like what to look out for. Like, it shows awareness to like, okay, if you go to the bar, like, and there's a guy being like all friendly, trying to go back to his place, maybe it'll make you say no because you know that there's a possibility, like, or just like, why would you go home with a random stranger you just met? Like, stuff like that. So I don't know. Let me know your guys' opinion in the comments if you think documentaries or like creepy movies and shows like that are good or bad, or you think, just let me know your take on that. But like, whatever. I can't get over the fact that that's a thing. But next one I have, which this was such a good documentary. I believe this was like a couple part series. It's called Don't Fuck with Cats. And ooh, this one, you guys, was insane. So basically, some man posted a video on YouTube, and it was of him literally like killing cats. I believe the first video was him putting 2 kittens into, oh, this is so horrible. I like literally just got like goosebumps. I can't. He put, trigger warning graphic, he put 2 kittens inside of like a vacuum seal bag and sealed the bag and suffocated them and posted it. And these people on Facebook made a group and like sent that in there. We're like, this is so horrible. Like, who would ever do this? Like, we need to find out who this is. We need to do something about this. And so literally a group of these people on Facebook were gathering information down to every detail. They were like cutting up this video piece by piece. Like, it was a very short video, and like the guy kept uploading videos. Like, it got worse. Like, at one he like was drowning a cat in like a bathtub or something, and whatever. And like one video, there's like a yellow vacuum like in the background, and they like zoom in, they look up like yellow vacuum, see the vacuum, they find the exact one, look up like what countries have that vacuum to like narrow down, because it could have been like anywhere in the world. And literally they're just doing all these investigative things to try and find out who this person is. And you guys, this person makes a fake Facebook account and joins the group chat and literally is like talking to them, like, and he's the actual fucking killer. And I think they find that out. But you guys, eventually this man kills a person. This guy posting these horrible videos about cats, he kills a human being. And there's footage of him like bringing someone to a hotel, and then him leaving with like a suitcase, and you see him like throwing like the body in like a dumpster. And literally, thanks to all those people trying to find out who he was on Facebook. They literally got the guy and he went to jail. I'm like, so insane. Like, that's why, like, I actually hate the internet, hate technology, but like, I love it for things like that because you can literally find things in a second. Like, them literally looking up where something came from. Like, I'm like leaving out so many more details, but like, they were doing every single thing, like finding exactly where, I forgot what country it was in, but it was not in the United States. And it's just crazy that like you can use the internet to literally find anything, like especially for crime type things. Like, it is so helpful. Like, it's honestly not good that we can have any piece of information at our fingertips at any time, but it is good because for things like that, like if you need to find something like scary or like find out like information about like a person, you could easily Google anything and find that out. So I forgot the lady's name. It was like a lady and a man were like the two like leaders of it, I guess, or like the initiators of like trying to find out who it was. So shout out to them because that would be, I hate that that shit does that. No one did a thumbs down. I don't know if there's a ghost. Hey ghost, what if it's the guy? What if it's the don't fuck with cats killer? Hey bro, fuck you. Get away from me. Anyway, maybe he's not even dead actually. I don't know. But either way, I don't even know where I was going with that. But oh yeah, shout out to those people because they figured it out. And all of these people I've said so far, I literally, well, I know Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, and John Wayne Gacy are all dead. But I hope Chris Watts and this Don't Fuck with Cats guy are, and all those people that did the crimes on Survived a Crime, hope they're all doing horrible. Actually, I don't like to wish bad on people, but I hope the people that do like to wish bad on people are giving those people what they need to do because whatever. Next one I have, actually before that, you guys need to watch Don't Fuck with Cats. I don't know if it's still, I believe that one was on Netflix too. If you're gonna watch any of these, that one's probably like the least, actually no, I was gonna say that's one's probably like the least like graphic, like it's okay to watch because the other ones were like horrible. But I would say to do I Survived a Crime, maybe that's like the lightest one because obviously all of them survived, so it's like you don't feel, you're like, okay, at least they survived. But all these other ones are actually fucking horrible. This one doesn't have to do with killing, thank goodness. But the next one I have is called Our Father. It is a documentary about this man who was a doctor and he would help women who want like a sperm donor. He would help them have kids, which this one was actually crazy for me to watch because if you guys watched my podcast episode with my mom, which you guys should go and watch that. If you go to my YouTube channel right now, it's episode 20. And I asked my mom all about her experience using a sperm donor and all that. So that was a very good, fun, informational episode. But Our Father is literally about that. Like this doctor is giving these women and he would give them his own sperm. He would literally impregnate all these women and without their consent. Like they did not know that was happening. They did not want that. And he would literally, after I watched that, I literally had to ask my mom, like, is my donor actually my donor? Because like, what if we got somebody else's on it, like on accident, but on purpose? Because he was doing it on purpose. And I forgot how many women exactly he did it to or like how many kids he like actually has. But he would literally like go and like jerk off and impregnate these women without them knowing. That's literally sexual assault. Like that. It's like, I'm pretty sure the man's in jail. Thank God. I don't remember the outcome. I think he is. And I wish I remembered the doctor's name too. But that one's also super interesting. You guys should really watch it. It's called Our Father. And it's all these women just talking about their story and about what happened. And I think they found out that it happened because of like some type of website like Ancestry or like 23andMe or like some type of website like that, and would literally, oh, like that is the most horrifying thing. Like imagine finding out, because like there's nothing you can do at all. Like imagine like your kid, because like a lot of these people were like, the kids were grown up already, like the kids were like in their 30s, and just knowing, like imagine being the mom, just knowing, like you find out however many years later that you just had a kid from somebody that you did not even know or anything, like you did not want. Like I would feel so like just like I would not know what to do. Like I would probably go on like a mental fucking episode. Like I would literally have like a fucking manic episode and like go crazy, because that is like the most insane thing. And I really wish I remembered his name, but that one was insane. Like all the different people telling their stories from him, and like he did it to multiple women. Like what a sick weirdo. Next one I have, and the last one I have, is the Turpin family. And did they make a documentary on this, or was it just like a thing in the news? I don't know. But these freaking people had like 13 kids, I want to say. You guys should look up this story if you've never heard about it. It is really, really insane. And this girl finally gets out because her siblings were like chained up. And one of her older siblings had like a phone, and she got out and she's trying to call 911. And she's like, I snuck out, whatever. And the cops like finally like meet up with her. They find her. And so let me give backstory. The Turpin family, there's 13 of them. And I forgot the names again. I should have written these down. The husband and wife literally were so abusive. Their kids like were living in filth. The house was like not just like messy, like literally moldy, dirty. They did not shower. They did not bathe. They were starved, so malnourished, did not eat. They couldn't even speak, right? Like they didn't know anything. Like I'm pretty sure there was like a 20-something-year-old or something that had like the body weight and like stuff of like an 8-year-old. Like they were so malnourished, so like they couldn't even speak English because they never even like learned. Like he asked them if like she, like the cop was talking to her and was asking if she had like taken any pills. Like she didn't even know what a pill was, or like medication. Like, and they were also, not only were they being like neglected, like not being fed and not being bathed, they were also being abused. They would be hit. They would get chained up. They would, since they were hungry, they would literally eat like things that were not food. And if they got caught eating food, they would get punished. Like the most like severe, insane abuse. And she's like, I can't go in. Like, I don't want to know. Like, I don't want my parents to hurt me, whatever. And the cops like go up to the door and they answer, and they go into the house and they find everything. And the craziest thing is like they would go out in public sometimes. Like they'd be in like matching outfits and all this stuff. And you could like, I don't know how anyone didn't call the police before, because like you could tell these people were like malnourished. Like they did not look healthy, like the kids. And they all got free. The parents got in trouble, and the oldest kid was like probably almost 30 years old, I think, like in the late 20s. And then the youngest was like pretty young. And some of them like have like opened up and like talked about it, and like I hope they're doing okay now. I mean, obviously they have so much trauma and like horrible, but I'm so happy that they're able to live. Obviously some of the siblings like wanted to be private and haven't like talked about anything, but Highly recommend you guys look up that story. And I am so happy she finally got the courage to sneak out and call the police and save her family. But like the most sick people, like, and they were like religious, would go to church all the time, the family. And it's like, they're like thought like they were supposed to have as many kids as they could. Like that's what like God wanted. So they had literally like 13 kids. I'm like, you're abusive and horrible. Like I don't understand people's thought processes at all. Another thing I just remembered was these siblings, these people adopted this older white couple. I remember this was on Dr. Phil. I want to say, I think it was Dr. Phil. I don't remember. It was one of those like kind of shows. And they would lock the kids up in literal cages, like dogs, like so uncomfortable. And like they had favorites. Like one of the girls, like she could not understand why like she was getting all this treatment. And I just remember on Dr. Phil, like the kids got like all split up and stuff, and they like all got to like see each other again and see the guy that like saved them. Cause like one guy, like he like came over. I don't remember how he met them, but he saw like they all got to be reunited, but the guy that like saved them, and it was really cool. But like how are people that horrible? Like that is genuinely something I will never ever understand. And so that was, like I said, my last one. There is many other documentaries. There's documentaries about everything. If you don't just want like, if there's not like killer ones, there's ones about cults. There's one about Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey, it's called. I don't want to talk about that one in depth because I don't really know too much about it. But basically, I think, is it Mormon where I don't know if it's that, so I don't want to say that, but literally this like old guy would like marry all these like 16-year-olds, and like it's like a cult. It's like this whole cult. I don't think it was Mormon. I don't know what I'm saying. And you need to watch that documentary too. It's really good. Like I said, I don't know too much about it, but that was a list of some of the ones I really thought were insane and I've watched before. I've taken a little break from watching them. Like I said, most of these I watched like over a year or two ago. I just really like, it brings down this may make me sound like a real fucking hippie, but I really try and keep my vibration high and just positive, and watching all those things really lowers your vibration and it makes me just feel horrible. It makes me think about negative stuff. But they are very interesting, and like I said, they do spread awareness. So I recommend watching them, especially if you're like bored and like need something interesting, or if you want to feel something, you should definitely watch them. Yeah, they're really interesting. I kind of am in the mood to watch another one now because I just started talking about them, and who knows, maybe there's been some bunch of new ones. Oh, that's one I want to watch that I haven't watched. The new one that came out about Nickelodeon, and what's the guy's name? Oh my God, David. I think it's David. Okay, no, let me just shut up. But what is it called? What is the Nickelodeon one called? I don't know. I'm going to put it on the screen because I forgot what it's called, but in editing, I'll put on the screen. I really want to watch that one. So maybe that's what I'll watch next, is the Netflix or the Nickelodeon one about how the guy was like really creepy to all the child stars on Nickelodeon. But yeah, my advice for this episode is to trust your gut and be cautious and smart when befriending new people, just because there are a lot of good people in the world, but there are also a lot of bad, horrible, fucked up people. So just when you go out, when you just always be aware of your surroundings, like as soon as you get into your car, lock it, maybe carry around pepper spray with you or any type of like weapon in your car or something. Like it's good to just always be prepared. I mean, obviously don't live life in fear, because things happen out of your control and you still need to live your life and have fun and do things, but just always be aware of your surroundings, and also like trusting your gut when befriending new people. Like if you meet someone or if you're in a situation and you're getting bad vibes, like you just feel off about the situation, trust that feeling and stay as far away from that person as you can. Or like I was talking about how the Jeffrey Dahmer one can give you awareness. Like if you meet someone at a bar and they seem really nice and charming, like maybe don't go back to their place when you just met them that day. Maybe start to become their friend and then see. But also there's situations like Chris and Shanann Watts where they were married for 10 years and he still did that. So like I said, you can't live in fear because things happen, which is fucking disgusting and horrible. But just trust your gut and be cautious, and everyone go watch a true crime documentary to be entertained, to be kept aware. And I still can't fathom that there are actually people like that in this world. I think we just all need to be more aware, and people just need to be better humans. And I don't know, life is too short to be like I don't get why people think like that or how people think like that. I mean, obviously they're not right up here, but yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching my true crime episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you learned something. Please follow all my other socials. I will leave them in the description. And also please subscribe and hit the notification bell to be notified every single time I post a video. And this is way off topic, but I got my nails done recently, and wait, let them focus. Ooh, they are so fucking fire. And I've missed having nails. I haven't had them in a while, but that is way off topic and no one gives a shit. So thank you guys again for watching, and like, comment, subscribe, and follow my socials. And I will see you guys on the next episode of Banter with Brooke. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Bye.